definitely will do that. So, like I was saying, this is not about feeling, it's the truth. And right now you must understand throughout history, throughout the story, not his story, because his story is the lie. We must understand what we call the Caribbean, the Caribs. Understand these are the last resort of our ancestors. Let me say this again. If you happen to have Caribbean ancestors, just know that you does not come from Africa. The Caribbean that inhabit today, these are the people that was considered the elite tribes members that was living in what you call the United States of today, or what you would call Mexico today. These are the areas that our elite people was living. Now, when I mean the elite people, understand where you call the Empire of America at one point was located in Mexico. And that area of Mexico we call the Olmec tradition that passed down to different variations of culture, what you call the Maya, the Aztec, and moved to the Incas. The Incas moved down to South America. The Maya moved to what you call North America, what you call United States. That's where you got Miami. The real name for Miami is Maya. The people from Mexico, the Maya tradition, or the Maya people moved to Florida of today. But the real name was Maya. Okay, that's why you get Miami. They switched the name, but the real name was Maya. That was the Maya Empire. Okay, so as many war was boiling out and many invasions. When you said invasion, understand the Mongolian invasions and the European invasions. They joined force together. A lot of our elite people, elite class from our tribe, they escaped America. They escaped Mexico. They went to the Caribbean. The Caribbean is what you call the last resort of our elite ancestors, and they went there so they can further see who's coming. So they know that area, this is where they're gonna pretty much hide themselves and prepare for a war that's coming their shore. So they have the easiest way to keep an eye on the enemy, as the enemy will come to the area. A lot of people don't know that, but as our education system change and the people that's in power recreate the system, they give us history, pretty much take the first syllable out, mean his story. They completely remove our true indigenous lineages into the America. They make us think that this area was completely wasteland. There was nobody living, when in reality, this continent is the oldest continent in the world. This is where everything started. It started here. So now, what I'm saying is because I want you to understand the same thing that you heard about the elite is trying to do, where the elite eventually try to run away and they want to pretty much inhabit the island, as you heard about what happened to Hawaii. All of these areas, this is where the elite trying to live in the island. They moving themselves away from the big cities or away from the big areas. They all moving to the island. This happens before. So this is history repeated itself. So therefore, that's what happened. The Caribbean, since we are celebrating Caribbean month, that's what happens in the past. Our elite people moved to the Caribbean to escape invasions and war. And these elite people is what you call the Maya, the Olmec, the Incas. They all spread out from the south, including spread out from South America, and including the Caribbeans. This is why every culture is reserved into the Caribbeans. That's why Caribbeans have tons of different music. There's not nowhere else but here. The drum style, the music, the food, the language is still there. So therefore, this is why they maintain it, and also why the Caribbean have pretty much the lowest populations of foreign people. The Caribbean is black. You can say the Caribbean is mostly, I've said a good 95% melanated and phenotype of our liking. So we don't have phenotype of foreign people. We maintain our phenotype because this was the elite groups that left to hide in the Caribbean and to prepare for war. And that's why only successful war we ever had happens here in the Caribbean, because we were more prepared than anybody else. So that's why we maintain language in the Caribbean. That's why we maintain culture in the Caribbean. All of us in the Caribbean have carnival. This is indigenous carnival. We all dress the same because that's who we were. We We maintain our traditions. We don't lose it. And we all speak Cree. What we call Cree, that's what we call today Creole. They put an all on it, but the real name is Cree. That was the name of our language. That's why the majority of Caribbeans speak Creole. Matter of fact, I'm not even saying the majority, almost all of them. Because this was the remnants of our language, and we maintain it. Now, why we have this showdown, they deliberately pick an African nation as the Kenya, and I want people to know, when you said Kenya have the primal phenotype of African. Every nation have their own indigenous look. All nations have their own indigenous look. When you say African, understand, a lot of them look just like us. It's because of Liberia. Because in the 1492, the first trade happens in Haiti. 1492, they were shipping our indigenous ancestors to what you call Europe and Liberia. Liberia locate in West Africa. So therefore, this is where you find a lot of population in West Africa looks like us because of our ancient Liberian ancestors that end up spreading all over the area.